Hey guys, welcome back. So today I'll show you how I edit portraits. Currently I'm doing a headshot project. I'm clicking a lot of portraits these days. I've been editing them, putting them on Instagram. You can check out my Instagram. Um, I'll give you some color examples and then I'll give you some black and white examples. All the edits will be done in Affinity Photo. Affinity Photo is a great tool if you really don't want to get into subscription service of Adobe. I think it's a great tool to use. You can do pretty much do everything you do in Photoshop in Affinity Photo. So let's jump into it and see how the editing is done. All right, so we're inside the computer, and this is the image that we will be editing. It was shot with Nikon Z6 using the 135 f2 lens, the Rokinon Samyang manual focus lens. I highly recommend this lens if you plan to do portraiture with a Z series body, because it's really easy to focus this lens on the Z system. And as you can see, the image is pretty sharp. I really like the colors that have come out of this. In fact, I mean, this looks pretty good at this point. We'll just be doing some minor tweaks on this photo to make it look even better. So the first thing I'll be doing is I'll be retouching, and for that I'll go into the healing brush tool. I'll take the healing brush tool, and I need to then, using alt click, need to select a region of the skin that I will use to replace anything. So normally what I do is I look at the blemish and then I look at the region of the skin that matches very closely to that, and that is the region that I use to basically replace, right? So as you can see, I'm doing these selects very often, and I try to pick regions of skin which are very close in texture and color to the region that I'm trying to replace. All right, so the image already looks pretty good. All the blemishes have been removed. Now, what normally I try to do is I try to emulate Canon colors, because a lot of people really like Canon colors. There is, I wouldn't say Canon has better color science. I think everyone has pretty decent color science these days. But what Canon really does is biases your midtones towards oranges, and it biases your highlights towards yellow, and we'll try to do that here. But before that, what we'll do is we'll go um, into levels, and we will try to bring down the blacks. So this will add a little more contrast to the image. And now we'll go into color balance, and in the midtones we'll add some red. So we'll maybe make it 15. We'll add some magenta, so that gives you this pinkish tone, and we'll also add some yellow, and then we'll go into highlights and we'll just add yellow to highlights. All right, so as you can see, the change is like really subtle, but if you can notice it, you'll find that the image becomes slightly more warmer if you do this, and it generally I found people really like these warmer tones. Next, what I'll do is I'll basically go back to the image and I'll make her eyes pop a little. So what I'll do is I'll go and into the dodge tool, and so opacity is 100, flow is 50%, and hardness is 0. So what I'll do is I'll paint over her eyes. Generally, portraits are all about um, people and people's eyes, and specifically headshots, and therefore doing this really kind of make the portrait look really nice. So if you look, what I have done here is, and I'm just undoing the change and redoing the change to show you the difference. So if you see, this basically gets her eyes to pop, and that looks really nice. So from my point of view, this portrait is now pretty much done, and I can export it as color. Now, one final thing that I'll also do is I'll try to convert this into black and white. So Affinity Photo has this black and white adjustment, and it's pretty cool because you can play around with the different colors and see how the image actually looks. So right now this looks way too artificial to me. So we'll try to bring down the reds a little, and we'll try to bring down the yellows maybe a little, uh, not too much. All right. So yeah, so this to me looks pretty decent, and I think I'll be happy exporting this. All right. So we are actually done, and I'll just go over all the images and show you how they look. So if I go and into slideshow, so if you see, this is the original image, this is the one that's in color. There's a very slight subtle change, but the image definitely looks better. And then black and white is basically just converting this image into black and white, and you can play around with the black and white stuff. Some people really like contrasty images, other people like less contrasty, more faded look. So that's personal choice. I personally like more contrasty images. So hope you liked the video. Thanks for watching, and I'll be posting more tutorials as I do more portrait headshots. Stay tuned. Thank you.